Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. This is the Deep Dive. My name is Drew Creekmer. I'm the Director of Advisory Services here at Creekmer Wealth. And today I'm joined by John Creekmer, our founder and Senior Wealth Advisor. And John, we're getting towards the end of the year here. So there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, making sure that folks are getting done. And we're going to get into that in a minute. But before we do that, how are you doing today?
Doing good, and too, looking forward to the end of the year. I love the end of the year. It's a chance to kind of sit back and chill and hang out, and also review the year. Drew, it's funny. A lot of people, say, "Boy, you're probably look at your investment accounts all the time, and you probably work on your own financial planning throughout the year." And quite honestly, I actually just kind of do a deep dive in the week between Christmas and New Year, and just kind of look at everything really at a deeper level once a year. And then throughout the year, I just kind of let things play out the way that they are. We set patterns and allow investment strategists to handle the portfolios. And so it's one of the principles that I've learned that if I set my long-term goals and intermediate-term goals and short-term goals, and then I have quality people that I work with, which we do here at Criminal Wealth Advisors, managing the portfolios, well, then we kind of don't worry about tinkering with it too much throughout the year. And I think it's a good principle that everyone should really look to apply. I find that myself, if I mess around with my own financial plan too much, I end up messing it up. So I'm
Yeah.
human like everybody else. And so really key principle head into this year is to do your planning well, but also make sure that you focus on long-term goals and set plans in place and allow them to play out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a great thing for everyone to keep in mind. And John, so we're at the end of the year. What are some things that folks need to be thinking about or doing before
Mm.
we get to 12/31? Because there's a few deadlines and a few things that a lot of clients we work with need to make sure they're getting checked off their list.
Yeah, I'd say first and foremost, you want to make sure that you really look at your employment retirement plan as far as your 401k or 403b or 457 plan. Just make sure. I know the last couple pay periods, a lot of folks can make adjustments. And so make sure that you have the proper amount contributed into your 401k or workplace retirement plan, just to make sure that you have the proper amounts going in there. So that's first and foremost. Secondarily, I would also look as far as contributions to see where you're at as far as on Roth contributions and IRA contributions. And if you have the ability based upon your income to make some additional contributions by the end of the year, you actually have till April 15th, but we love to see them in by the end of the year to try to make sure that you fill up any goals there, make sure you don't leave any money on the table. So that's as far as contributions. As far as deductions, remember, folks, you have till 12/31 to make any contributions into the churches or not-for-profit organizations that you want to give to. So it needs to be postmarked by 12/31, and make sure you check with the policies of whatever 501(c)(3) you're giving to. But also, you have till 12/31 to make any contributions into a donor-advised fund. And so it typically takes about 2 weeks to get one of those set up if you don't have a donor advised fund set up yet. And but you have to 12/31 to make any contributions for that also, Drew.
Yeah, and John, I know we've talked about the donor advised fund in the past, but can you just highlight for us the key features of that donor advised fund and why we love that tool as a great financial planning tool to help people achieve multiple goals at once?
So it is a fund of which a donor, so a donor is an individual that makes a donation to a not-for-profit, and it's a fund. It's a donor advised fund, so the person that's making the donation is giving advice or direction as far as on the investment. And so it is an actual 501(c)(3). That means it is a registered not-for-profit institution. And so any dollars, whether it be cash or whether it be appreciated stock, that you give or make a donation into this account, you can receive a full deduction as far as on your tax return up to the IRS limits. And so once the funds go into the account, then you can allow them to sit there for as long as you want to sit into the account. At any point in time, then you can make a grant and actually have those dollars go to different charities. And you're in total control of what charities it goes to. So a great example would be if you have an appreciated stock. So I know the last 2 years, we have a lot of clients that made a lot of money inside NVIDIA or inside Amazon or inside Apple or other technology stocks if you happen to hold those holdings, or mutual funds or exchange traded funds in the technology sector. You can actually gift those shares into the donor advised fund, receive a full deduction for the entire amount that you gift without having to sell. If you sold those stock, well, then you would end up having to pay capital gains tax. In this case, you receive a full deduction. Once the shares are deposited into the account, then you can actually liquidate those holdings and have a more of a diversified portfolio, and there'll be no tax consequence. So it's a great way to receive a deduction, but then you also control what charities you end up granting dollars going to at any point in time in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great tool on that front. So if you haven't talked to your advisor about the donor advised fund, you think it may be a nice fit for your overall financial plan and goals, we would strongly encourage you to reach out to our team, and our advisors can walk you through that. Now, John, there are two other items that we are seeing a lot of folks wanting to get done before the end of the year, before 12/31. And one is taking required minimum distributions,
Mm.
and the other one is Roth conversions. On the RMDs, it's pretty straightforward. You have until the end of the year to take out that required amount that the IRS requires to take out of your qualified retirement plans. Our team is working on ensuring that all of our clients with RMDs have those taken. But if you've not heard from our team and you don't think you've taken your RMD yet, we would definitely encourage you to give us a call on that front. Now, John, with Roth conversions, we have a number of clients who are in the process of doing Roth conversions or have in years past. What are some key things for people to keep in mind?
Yeah, so there's two ways to get money into a Roth IRA. One is through a contribution. And so with a contribution, there's some restrictions. You have to have earned income, and that earned income needs to be below a certain dollar amount, depending upon if you have a workplace retirement plan or not. And so with that, the contribution allows you to set aside up to $6,500 a year if you're under age 50 and $7,500 a year if you're over age 50. And I know there's some pending changes coming along with the contributions coming up here as far as in tax law changes. Now, that's a contribution. A conversion, though, they sound very similar, but a conversion is when you actually have money inside a pre-tax IRA, and you're simply going to be converting or changing those dollars into a Roth status. And the benefit of doing that is that you pay taxes on those dollars in the year in which you convert. But then once you have it over in the Roth IRA, then any growth you receive in that Roth IRA is never taxed. And so a lot of people like to get money, especially as we anticipate tax rates going up here in about 3 years. They want to convert as much as they can before we get to 2026. Even after that period of time, it may make sense to go through a regular conversion strategy. And so for a lot of folks, it's an analysis that we do to figure out the maximum amount to convert. A simple rule of thumb is convert as much to get you up to the next tax bracket. So if you're in the 12% bracket, you can actually have taxable income up to about $90,000, and it's a little bit higher than that, but up to about $90,000, and be able to actually have some dollars still within the 12% tax bracket. So if you're at that level, it's a great time to convert. If you're over $170,000, you may be able to convert up to that dollar amount and still be in the 22% bracket. So make sure you talk to your advisor to see what makes sense to do the conversion. We do encourage folks to have their conversion request in, Drew, by December 15th, just to
Yep.
make sure that things get completed in a timely fashion over the holidays.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great summary, John. And just wrapping things up here, there's a number of things that we encourage all of our clients to do before the end of the year, whether it's checking on your contributions or getting those RMDs or conversions done. If you have any questions, we would encourage you not to wait until the last minute to talk to our team, just because we do have that 12/31 deadline. So definitely reach out here in the next week or so, so that our team can make sure that every box is checked for your overall financial plan. So, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for the time, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good one.